Welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
How's it going there, Mr. Jew?
It's going okay. A little cloudy outside.
A little chilly?
Yeah, it is cold.
That time
cold,
of the year.
Cold. Anyways, this week we're going to be talking a little bit about other martial arts doing ITF forms. I think you see that a lot in like
Other
karate.
competitions?
Yeah, karate.
Yeah.
They'll do like Gaebek or Sosan or other,
I thought we've talked about this before.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
And then it will also kind of touch upon, what are your thoughts about doing other types of forms in ITF?
Okay.
All right, but let's go ahead. Let's start with seeing other martial arts doing ITF forms.
You must have seen something recently. Yeah, tell me about it.
I just said it. It was from Gaebek. You see that often, especially in like a karate tournament.
Yeah, I think I saw that too. There's a lot of comments about that. Oh, that's not ITF. Yeah, but fundamentally the movements are there, right? Is it okay? I mean, that's great that people are learning something. Mm-hmm. Do you know what? Is it the students' fault that they had maybe a karate instructor? Because the philosophy of some of the way the techniques are done in ITF versus a different martial art, it might be a little bit different, right?
Right.
We kind of talk about that a lot in ITF. Oh, it's a sine wave, that kind of thing. And maybe people in karate don't really understand that. But
Right.
yeah, so maybe the ideas of how we execute techniques are a little bit different in that way. So is it the fault of the student, or is it really just the instructor not understanding the way we might do things?
Right.
I mean, I think I saw a video like that. Guy was doing competition. I think it was maybe the same video. And I have to say, the guy had heart,
Right.
and he was, giving it everything he had. And it's like, and it was actually pretty sharp in a way. It's
Right.
just not the way we might do it. And he might go and look at it and go, what the heck are they doing?
Right.
You
Right.
know?
That's true.
It kind of reminds me of another story. Look,
Okay.
it got me off track.
Okay. We're going on a tangent here.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember I had a student that moved from state of Washington, down to California, and he did the ITF patterns. And so he worked out with me. He was close to being a black belt. And says, yeah, come, let's just work out. And I'm not there trying to change him, because I know that what he was doing is definitely different than what I was doing.
Right.
But he really wanted me he appreciated that I was helping him, and he invited me to go to the test. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So we drove all the way up to Washington. It was
Okay.
like a 14, 16-hour drive.
Oh, wow.
Drove up there, and had it was a lot of black belts in this, actually. The school was Kim's Taekwondo. I got to talk to him a little bit. And he's actually in the encyclopedia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he signed it, and he kind of told me about his history with ITF and reason why he had to drop out of ITF and stuff like that. I said,
Right.
oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, and I got him to sign my book,
Cool,
my encyclopedia, But things had definitely changed, because they're doing the test. I'm watching. Oh, okay, yeah. And then he goes, "You, me? Yeah. Happens a lot. It seems like.
Yeah.
Do come.
Yeah.
He's actually Korean. So stand.
Yeah.
Get in there and do. I forget what pattern it was. And so I'm doing the pattern, and everyone around me looking at me like, what the heck is he doing? And I'm looking like, oh, yeah, I already saw what you guys are doing, but yeah, I'm not doing it that way.
Right.
And so, is it the fault of the student? No, because that's what they're taught, right?
Yeah.
And so the only way, if we want people, okay, I mean, who's right and wrong, I guess. But if you think of it as General Che's work, then you want to try to do it as close as possible to the way General Che wanted it, right?
Right.
There's probably a lot of people out there that do these patterns that don't even know who General Che is,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So they're just doing it, and you go
Right.
to an open competition.
So, just kind of going back to your story, what was the reason why he had left ITF?
Well, he came in, I don't remember exactly, but there was a time when the Communist Party in the United States was the evil,
Yeah.
and
Or
Noah
it's still the evil, but
yeah, you don't hear it as much, I don't think. But anyway, being part of the Communist Party or any kind of, and General Che
Relation to
did,
it, yeah.
General Che did visit some of these countries, North Korea, Russia, a lot
Right.
of Eastern blocs, and he was teaching Taekwondo to those
Mm-hmm.
countries. So in America, he said that he actually had the government, the U.S. government, approach him and says, you must disassociate with General Che, or we might deport you. He says, okay.
so you choose
Do I buy that, or-
America.
Well, actually, I don't think it's not too long ago that South Korea is the way it is today. I mean, you think about back in 60s and 70s. It's not, for me, it doesn't seem that long ago. But definitely different than it is today.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine? I saw this article or this video about segregation back in the 60s. So I'm from the 60s, right? Where the different class had to sit in the back of the bus. And I was like, wow, that was in the 60s.
You were alive at that time.
Yes.
Was it the 60s?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I couldn't imagine, but
Right.
I didn't take the bus very much anyway.
Okay. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I got to brush up on my history there.
Yeah, I just saw a news clip on it. It's like, oh wow, that's interesting. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
huge
things-
difference, I
Huge
guess.
difference, and South Korea today is one of the most modern countries in the world.
Right.
Right.
But I
And-
think they did that in like a super short
Right,
time.
r-
Same
right.
with like Japan, right?
Right. And so imagine, I'm just trying to think about like, hey, if I was in America and I'm thinking about you might get deported, I don't know if I want to be back up in the in that particular country at that point in time.
Right. That's
I
true.
don't know.
That's true.
So anyway,
All right, so let's move on. Let's go back to the patterns, and so other people are doing the patterns, but maybe they make some changes.
right.
Like I was watching someone do Chungmu, and it's supposed to be like knife hand guarding blocks. It's like a lot of it is the knife hand or open hand at
Right.
the beginning. But I noticed they started changing it to like a closed fist. So yeah, kind of similar.
Oh, so they changed the technique from
A knife hand guarding
knife
block
hand
to like a
guarding-
guarding
guarding
block.
block.
And then after the kick, it was like they did a guarding block instead of a knife hand again.
Yeah, what's your thoughts? What do you think?
What are my thoughts? I don't know. It seems like fundamentally, it's, similar techniques, but then I think you go back to like, what is the pattern all about? And if you have the pattern, it's like, it should be done a certain way, or else you're just kind of doing movements in a
Yeah.
organized fashion, right?
Well, yeah, I think, but I think that we have that issue with just color belts in general. Just why do we do patterns? Is it almost because it's, testing requirement, or maybe it's because you're going to compete and you got to know that or something.
Right.
So why, what is the actual purpose of the pattern? And I think that's why we have this discussion, right?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, your comment about changing from knife hand to guard, like a guarding block with the outer form versus the knife hand. I can see why some instructor might do that if they're not looking at the book itself, right? Maybe I learned it from my instructor. I learned this pattern, so I'm going to teach it to my students. Maybe they don't have General Che's book, or they don't go to those kind of seminars or those things, right? And so I can see where, as an instructor, I'm going, why would I do this technique and not do this? Because in real life, I would probably do this and not this. You see, and then I'm starting to think about, well, why would I do that? I've seen articles about why do we do these silly type of techniques, twin outer form blocks, and it's like, do you ever do that in real life? And you're kind of like, no, I don't think so, really.
Right.
We probably don't. But it is a theoretical idea. I mean, what we are doing, I think patterns or some of the fundamental movements are theoretical ideas, and it's just like anything else. If I'm in accounting, I have theoretical ideas on how to do my books. And when you actually do it, it may not actually be that way, right? Same
Right.
with electrical engineering. Theoretically, this is the way you do it, but you ask an electrician, and he says, yeah, I guess so, but this is the way we do it.
Right,
Right? And it's
that's
just
true.
different. And
Right.
so theory and application, I think they're both important. And because you have to have some baseline.
Right.
So we just need to understand why I would use a knife hand guarding block versus an outer form block.
Right.
There are reasons for it,
Yeah.
right? Whether I actually do it in real life for self-defense, that might be a different story. Why you choose one versus another.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's. We're running out of time here, but let's look at your
plenty of
story.
time.
I'm not trying to edit
Yeah.
something super long here.
Yeah. Okay, go.
So we're gonna move into now. We're ITF. Should we do other forms? So sometimes you might want to learn a Pumse, Taeguk, or I don't know anything about karate. They seem to have all these.
Different styles.
Yeah, something. So it's hard to follow. So it's probably easy to talk about Pumse and Taeguk because that might be a little bit more common. And sometimes some schools they even do both of them.
Right.
And I've kind of thought about that myself, but I'm like, ooh, it's already hard enough to learn all the patterns for the student.
It's already hard
It's
enough
already
to
hard
learn,
enough to go through all the patterns.
to learn 24.
Yeah, then so to add more, I know I could do it, but I don't know if
I
they
could
would
do
be
it?
able to do it. But there are also benefits because then you could also compete in WT tournaments, right? And you wouldn't stand out too much. As long as you were doing the techniques similar.
Right, and so I think that lies a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because ITF has certain idea about the way techniques should be performed, the stances and so forth. I mean, I can kind of see myself if I was doing a WT pattern, I think I might start doing that sine wave or something like that.
Right.
And so it is a transition. Is it good or bad? Well, I can think of it as a training tool. We do lots of drills, up and down or side to side. And this could be another drill. Yeah, there's so much to cover anyway. I don't know. I'd have to say it would be hard for me just to remember. It's hard enough to remember 24 patterns, especially when one of them 72 movements.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it could be possible. I know there are some schools that do that. Actually, quite a few schools do that. And so they can compete at different venues, right? But like you said, you're going to have to change up some of the ideas of ITF and WTF. If you go to a WT tournament, is your Pumse going to be good enough to compete against some of these other guys? Because some of their kicks are like amazingly
Yeah.
high. I mean,
Right.
it's like, okay, we can say, well, I don't know if we would do that because it doesn't seem practical, but
Yeah.
it looks awesome.
Yeah.
How many of our students do that?
None.
None, because we
don't do that. You don't practice that.
Well, we have people that are flexible. They could do
Yeah,
something
they
like
could
that.
do it.
But the principles or why we do certain things don't allow us to do that in reality, really.
Right.
Right? Not to say it's bad to do that. I'm just saying that it's different.
Yeah.
That sounds a politically correct answer.
But if you're interested in it,
Yeah. Why not?
just go for it.
go for it. If you want to go to the Olympics, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, but they don't have Pumse in the Olympics.
Oh,
They only have
see,
sparring,
That's how,
yeah.
shows you how much I know about Olympic taekwondo.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Right. All right, so I guess that's your thoughts on that, right?
Yeah, did you have anything you want to jump in on that?
No,
Nothing?
just had some questions for you today.
All right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Let us know you guys' thoughts on
My
forms, Master Ju's story. And as always, don't forget to be safe,
Keep training.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwondo.